it's white to move. He has a healthy queenside pawn majority. He can use it to get an outside passed pawn. Black's kingside pawn majority is crippled by a single white pawn. So for these reasons, white is winning, but he has to play precisely. He begins by pushing his c pawn, exchanging pawns, and now the best try for black is to move the king to e6 to help support his own pawns to push. Moving the king to c6 makes white's life very easy. White just runs for the pawns and wins them both. So instead black tries this move. And now there's only one winning move for white, which is to move the king to c4, with the idea of running it up on the queen side here to b7 to help support the pawn, and the queening square will be protected. No other move wins the game. For example, if white tries pushing his decoy pawn now, then black can run after it, and white can rush for the black pawns, but black is going to be in time to protect them. In fact, it's white who is in danger here, and he has only one drawing move in the position, which is king d5 to gain the opposition. If he tries running for the pawns with king f6, he actually loses. Black protects the pawn, ejects the king out, black grabs the opposition, and now if white moves the king to d5, then black can push the pawn, and white can't take it because black will recapture and then easily gain a key square here. So white can try falling back, but then black gets a protected passed pawn, which is an easy win as well. Okay, so pushing the pawn as a decoy here simply doesn't work because black has enough time to come back to his own pawns. Another try is king to e4, gaining the opposition, but this doesn't work either. Black has the move f5 check. White captures en passant, and now black has to recapture the pawn. If he doesn't, if he tries something else, then white can push the other pawn, and it's impossible to stop both of those. One will queen. So black recaptures. White can try king to d5 to come up to support his own pawn. And now it's important for black to retreat his king to e7. For example, g5 loses. White gains the sideways opposition here, and it's a race to queen. White queens first, black queens, but then white gets a skewer and wins the game. So instead here, black needs to play king to e7. Now white rushes back with his king towards the b7 square to help support the promotion square, but this gives black just enough time since white has blocked his own pawn. The black pawn pushes and it becomes a race, and white queens and then black queens, but there's no tactic, it's a drawn endgame. Okay, so going back to our key position here, as I said, king to c4 is the only winning move. Let's see how it plays out. f5, g takes f6. King takes f6 is again necessary because otherwise c6 will come and the pair of pawns will be unstoppable. Now king to b5 is the only winning move in this position. So you have to have protection for your pawn. You've got to bring your king up quickly to support that queening square. For example, if you push the pawn now, then the black king falls back and defends the queening square in time. And it's going to be a draw. So king to b5, g5, c6. Now white only wants to bring the king up to help if necessary. He doesn't want to waste the tempi. So if the black king comes back, then the white king goes up. g4, c7, maybe king d7 here, and the white king supports the pawn, and it's an easy win.